And joining us now is a head coach who has got his team in a spot where they could be selected for the 12-team college football playoff.
Hell yeah.
Now, there's other teams, obviously, that are jockeying for position, but he is hoping that what his team has put on film and put on the books is enough to get them into the dance. Once you get into the dance, who knows? Ladies and gentlemen, first-year head coach at Alabama. Roll, Tide, roll. Ladies and gentlemen, Kalen DeBoer.
Hey.
Coach, how are you?
I'm good. It's good to see you again. It's been a few weeks.
Yeah, it's good to see you as well. You look good. You've been fit. We've been working out, not eating. What's going on? You look you look fit right now.
I appreciate that. That's a comment I guess I'll take right now. So I appreciate that.
Absolutely. We were just talking about Hard Knocks and the way Hard Knocks, they gave us an exclusive trailer, and it's basically all four coaches handling a team meeting. And their message is all basically the same. Mm-hmm. Got to win every day. Got to win this week. We can't think ahead. Do you watch other coaches? Do you talk to other coaches? And how do you come up with your messaging to the team each week?
Yeah, I mean, I take what's within, because I think the people within are really good on our staff, and they know exactly what we're going through. But I think there are people that you can go to here and there, maybe people that understand you, have had experiences that you can go to, regularly and kind of get some ideas on just how to approach maybe that week. And that's the beautiful thing about the coaching profession. There is a kind of fraternity of guys that, you can really count on.
Yeah, and your messaging obviously matters, and being able to deliver it in ways that your team doesn't get bored is obviously a big part of coaching and mindset and framing. Let's talk about this year for you at Alabama. How's it been kind of, I don't want to say separating yourself from Coach Saban, but taking a team that was already very successful? Obviously, legend GOAT is retiring and leaving. Now we're at the end of this season. You just get your first, Iron Bowl win.
Hell yeah.
Big win over Auburn at home. Big win over Georgia. Big win over Georgia. Other wins. Now a couple losses, obviously. How has this season gone, you think, from your perspective of leading the Alabama football team?
Well, I think the whole year has been segmented, right? There's the craziness of everything happening back in the winter months, and then you work to the point where you get in the fall, and that's where you really, that's when the bullets are flying, right? And you really find out, who you are, whether it's myself and how to relate to the team, or them figuring out who I am and our staff as well. But you go through those adverse moments, you go through those good times as well, and your response is what you can control. And so I'm really proud of the resiliency our team has. I think it shows up in games throughout the course of the game, but I think it showed up over the season, and how we come back each and every week. And I get to see it on the football field in practice every day, and I just couldn't be more proud of the way these guys continue to show their love for the game, the pride they have in the program, the standard that we have set as far as the work being the work, and how that translates to game day and the success we have there.
You got some special talent, obviously, on that team, and Coach Saban has mentioned it a few times about the amount of guys that left after he retired and what the roster looked like whenever you got there, and then obviously the amount of time you have with transfer portal recruiting and trying to keep your own guys. How do you feel about, I don't want to say your culture being created, but like your imprint on these guys and like your messaging, the way you view things? Do you feel like you guys are all speaking the same language now? Because obviously anytime humans interact, there's a grace period. But when did you know maybe this year that you guys are all on the same page, or is that thing still happening?
I think it continues to happen, but I think the response after a couple losses is when you really kind of start to understand it. And when you have the success after those losses, and you're able to dial in on what you really wanted the message and continue to have the message be, and that's focusing on only what lies ahead, learning from the past, and just, understanding what those character traits were, what the work is that really gets you the wins, the success, which comes, results in wins on Saturday. So, yeah, the roster and just all of that was certainly, again, part of the transition. And that's, Coach Saban did a great job recruiting guys here. But in January, there was a lot of turnover, and us, filling in the gaps with guys that were coming up through the program, and the youth on our team getting these opportunities early in the season, I think really paid off here for us at the end with the depth, even with a couple injuries like everyone has. And us being able to play really good football. And now we're probably here this last week going in the future, probably as healthy as we've been at any point throughout the season, with the exception of a couple guys that you've lost. But that depth's been really critical for our young guys.
It's a good time to be healthy, but how do you talk to the team about everything that goes on? Obviously, you've been around college ball a long time, all different levels. At the lower levels, actually, there seemingly is a better way to deem a champion than there is up here, with the way the tournament is, and then now with the amount of conversation that's going to take place. And what do you tell the team, and how do you kind of internalize all of it? Because obviously, deeming it a successful season for you, like first year there, you make the playoffs. That is first year he does that. But that is kind of out of your hands now, obviously, because of things that your team did. But how do you kind of handle that all?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've gotten to the point now, again, kind of going with the culture and everything you were talking about. It's gotten to the point where we can be really upfront and straightforward. And I expressed to them that, hey, there's a committee that's got some tough decisions, and we all get that. There's so many great teams in college football, but I know from within, we're speaking, in terms of that we're one of the best 12 teams the way we see it, and that's not egotistical. That's nothing arrogant. That's not the way I'm talking. But we understand who we are, and that we have to be ready. So this week it's about, the workouts. It's about, taking care of the things that are away from football to make sure there's no distractions when we get our opportunity. And, just, kind of reflecting on our strengths, and who we are, offensively, defensively, special teams, and, just continuing to breathe confidence into these guys and reminding us how far we've come, so that when we get to that point and we're back on the field preparing for hopefully another team and a playoff opportunity, we continue to hit the ground running and take off from where we were here this last weekend against Auburn.
Hell yeah, love to hear it. I assume the boys are ready to go, especially if they get the opportunity. You don't want to look at this or know this, but Sportsbook's got you guys at favorable odds to make the playoffs. So congratulations. I don't know what they know. I don't know what they know, but it sounds like the work is on purpose. There's a reason for everything they're doing. Last question from me before the boys have questions for you, and I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your day to chit-chat with us here. What's it been like first year as a head coach in the SEC? Because I got dropped into the college football world, baptized, boom, with College Game Day. And we're making picks at the end of every show. So I'm going to piss off at least 10 fan bases. Just piss them off. And with the way I do stuff, every once in a while I'll start really rattling some reasoning off on why I feel a certain way for entertainment purposes for the program, but also, hey, this is how I got to my decision here. And boy, I learned quickly, some of those people down there in the South, it's Jesus Christ in that school right there, and it's like, if you say anything bad about either of them, you're going to get it. And I couldn't imagine, you're West Coast, obviously come from the West Coast, and Dakota and Indiana, you were there, but whenever being the Alabama head coach, and let's say Vandy happens, or, Tennessee or Oklahoma happens, how do you avoid it? What has it been like being a head coach at Alabama?
Yeah, I mean, it's a challenge that, that I was excited about. You go through your career and again, there's always new things that you deal with. I don't care what part of the country, what league, it doesn't matter. But, the SEC is just it's a grind every single week. That's what you sign up for when you come here. And that's what I tell our guys. And, you embrace the challenge, you embrace the competition and everything that comes with it. But, that's, I think, part of what prepares you for a postseason, especially a postseason run that includes now, up to 4 games for teams. And I think that stacking those games and going through a season like you have to, that grind, I think, only gives you, what you need to, from a resiliency standpoint. Toughness, the physicality from week to week, being able to come back after 1 week and do it again the next week. That's what this, league's all about. But I think we have all those character traits that you need as a team. I mean, we have the explosiveness, we have the physicality. We're very balanced as a football team. And that's when I see championship teams, and I just, a year ago saw what that looked like. I think about what's inside and who you are as a team, and also what you have as far as athletes on the football field and what that looks like, in all the different phases. And we have some strong strengths in a quarterback that as good as anyone in the country. He's elite, and anytime he's got the ball in his hands, you got a chance to hit a home run, both with his legs and his arm. And so up front, offensive line, defensive line, I think again we're what you're looking for when it comes to playing at that championship level. And that's why I said what I said, where I feel like we're one of those teams that is for sure good enough to be into the final 12.
That's a hell of a pitch right there.
Oh, yeah,
hey,
Coach.
That was a hell of a pitch, which leads to Connor's question for you, actually. And I want to let you know what you said there about Jalen. I couldn't echo any louder. Like, when he's on the field, every time he has the ball, it's like, and then, there's only been a few of those guys throughout, football that have happened. And he's electrifying. Been running it a little bit, hey.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go ahead and let that thing go.
Still running it.
He's wide, still running. Boom. That's right. Connor has a question for you, though.
Yeah, Coach, with that being said, have you started to, compare your team to, other teams as far as resumes go? Is that something that someone's doing for you and bringing you sheets of paper like it seems Lane Kiffin has got going on at Ole Miss? Because he actually tweeted a full comparison between, Alabama, yourself, and Ole Miss.
I think, us knowing who we are and just kind of talking about that here like we are right now, I think that's really what it's all about. And it's easy for me because I'm excited about who we are as a football team, who we've become. And so I think that's really the biggest piece of it. We understand the games that we've played and the number of ranked teams we've beat. And I think, just talking about that has been kind of the focus. I guess that's, kind of what other programs will probably be doing too. So, but that, again, the number of ranked teams throughout the year, who we are, and the strengths we have, offensively, defensively, special teams. That's kind of what I'm focused on.
I love that this is a part of college ball.
Yeah.
Like Lane Kiffin's tweeting it. You're laying out like, hey, let's not forget.
It's campaign.
Let's not forget real quick. And then I'm getting texts from people from South Carolina. They're like, excuse me, mayor of Cocktown. What are we even talking about? Look at what we have been through. And if LSU doesn't get a penalty for a late hit on a pick six, we beat LSU. This is like a full-on. And this is the world. Hey, you're in it. Hey, congratulations, Coach. Congratulations.
Got a campaign.
Now, I don't know who's going to get in. Obviously, the committee. I don't even think the committee, each individual member knows who's going to get in there before conversation. But there is a setup in that first round for something special to happen in college ball.
Yeah, Coach, we've been talking a lot about how we think that, some of the conference champions or whoever the higher-ranked teams, let's say in the Big Ten, and the lower-ranked team in the SEC, that SEC school should have to go play a home game in the elements, and vice versa. The number 2 ranked Big Ten team should have to go down to the SEC and play down there. Is there any way you can prepare for a scenario like that? Because like Pat mentioned, let's not, put the cart ahead of the horse here, but there is a good chance you guys get in. And if you do get in, there's a good chance you're going to be playing on the road in, an area where it's very cold and there are conditions and stuff like that. And obviously you coming from South Dakota and being in Washington and Indiana, like you're no stranger to that. But is that something you can prepare for or talk to your team about as this process kind of rolls on?
Yeah, that's something I certainly have an appreciation for the question you're asking and understand it. Totally. Just going to different parts of the country at this time of the year and all that. But again, I think about like what our team is built for and the physicality, the ability to run the football. I think about a defense that forces a lot of turnovers. I know we're number 1 in the league and number 2 overall in the country. Our turnover margins are right at the top. So
exactly.
The keys to football that exists at this time of the year. And again, I know it's a different level and all that, but the championship and the playoffs and things that I know I was a part of in the northern part of the country, these things that we have in our team as far as qualities, they translate over to, again, what a championship team looks and feels like, and what you need to go through multiple rounds to get to where you want to be at the end.
Do you guys have enough heaters and stuff down there, though, to take with you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't. We'll figure that out. I hope we get to figure that out.
Yeah, amen. Obviously, got to get to the opportunity, but I think that's one of the beautiful things about this 12-team playoff. We actually hope it extends another week so that the champions get a chance to have home field advantage as well. Because watching a Big Ten school go down to the SEC in one of those environments is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And then watching an SEC team potentially have to play in a snow globe.
Come on.
Like, that is going to be awesome. But to your point about the way your team is built, you think about a snow globe, what do you think about? You think about being able to pound a rock.
That's right.
You got a guy under center or shotgun that can do as such, which leads to AP Tone's question.
Yeah, Coach, it's been talked about a couple times in this conversation about Jalen and his just explosiveness and him running the football. And there was rumors of him being banged up potentially during some of the losses in the middle of the year. And you talked about how healthy you guys are now. If you do get in, and it's a 4-game run, how have you balanced running Milroe versus protecting him and keeping him healthy? Because obviously when he's healthy and he's at his top, you guys are at your best.
Yeah, and that, again, a great question. And I think that this time that we're going through right now only continues to help. And, you've seen times when there is a little break or he kind of gets over that hump and is fresh again. This last weekend was a great example of just, the way he looked. And that's, I think the case when you have more than a week to prepare like we would have for most of the weeks throughout the playoffs. And, that's the great thing about the way it's set up is it's maybe not just exactly 7 days, and every day after 7. I mean, it helps the guys in their recovery. It obviously, it is impactful and your chance to game plan and get ready as a team. So all of that matters. And like you said, when Jalen is fresh, I mean, there's really no one like him, at the quarterback position in the country.
You talk about that time off. Is it either rest or rust? People wonder. Speaking of rust, let's go to the iron. D-Bud has a question for you.
Yeah, the Iron Bowl. This was rivalry week. Obviously, we saw a ton of upsets, and this is obviously the biggest one. What was your experience like? Obviously, you had to get a big win to give yourself a chance to make it to this 12-team playoff. What was your first experience like in that Iron Bowl?
Well, I mean, it's all about the ending, right? And, getting the win was what it was all about. And, I guess I couldn't have been more proud, and it goes back to just being able to flip the script and how important it is, whether it's within the game, but especially that week on Tuesday and the mindset and the way these guys love the game and understand that, people are going to talk and do everything, but what you can control is your mindset, your attitude, and the energy that we bring onto the football field. And they had just a great demeanor about them, and that led to the success we had on Saturday. It was an awesome environment. Just happy for our fan base, happy for our guys that everyone was rewarded with a win, and that's was under kind of the whole idea that you really needed it. So there was some added pressure, and I thought our guys came through in just a great way all around.
First year head coach, Iron Bowl at home. You had to win that one. Coach, you had to win. I know every play is in of itself. I'm happy you won it. You had to win it. You did. Your team responded every single time. They've had a little bit of adversity. They've obviously been able to bounce back. I'm pulling for you. Good luck, and keep crushing it down there in beautiful Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, every week's its own week, and so that's the way we approach it. But thanks for having me on, guys, and it's always a pleasure.